Welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. Join hosts Dan Melnick and Qasim Masood as they explore big ideas, limitless possibilities, and engage with visionaries, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders who dare to dream big, get inspired, motivated, and find practical tips for personal growth. Think big, dream bigger, and ignite your potential.
Welcome to the Think Big with Dan and Qasim. Today, our guest is Daphne Haim-Langford. How are you, Daphne, today?
I'm fine, thank you. And yourself?
Awesome. So let us know where you live and what you do.
So I'm based in Israel, and we are developing drugs for autoimmune disease of the eye that leads to blindness.
Awesome. That's a great thing. So how you got the inspiration to start this?
Well, this is a long story. My background, I'm a biophysicist, a PhD in biophysics from the Israeli Technion. And in the last 25 years of my career, I was an entrepreneur. I was a VP for business development. I was a CEO of a small incubator company. I was a venture capitalist. I invested in early stage companies, and I was a board member in the various early and late stage medical devices and pharmaceutical companies. Some were acquired for hundreds of millions of dollars, probably totaling an exits of more than $700 million by now. And the most exciting part of this journey is that many of the technologies that I was involved in the company that developed them reached marketing and help and change patients' life. And this is, to be part of such a journey, this is very rewarding. So at one point, I was serving as a venture capitalist and managing the life sciences portfolio of a small venture firm here in Israel. I found a very interesting technology inspired by nature at the Sheba Medical Center. It's a molecule that inspired by the hygiene hypothesis, in which parasites and intestinal worms are suppressing a little bit the immune system, the human immune system, and that's how it actually protects patients or people with a tendency to develop autoimmune diseases from developing those diseases. I was fascinated by this technology, as I'm super interested in technologies inspired by nature. The term is biomimicry. And at that point in time, and now it gets personal, I was sitting on two prostate-related companies and another urology men-related company. Now, prostate, it's something that I don't have. Actually, 50% of the population don't have prostate. However, when I saw this technology that relates to autoimmune diseases, I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease as a very young kid at the age of 8 in the same hospital that developed this molecule in Sheba Medical Center in Israel. And I was diagnosed with uveitis, which is a chronic autoimmune disease of the eye. Autoimmunity is when the immune system is a little bit too strong and is confused and attacking a healthy organ. And there are 80 autoimmune diseases that are attacking different organs. And I was the one that had the autoimmune disease that attacked my eyes. So while I was sitting on a prostate-related companies, I already lost one eye to the disease and struggled to maintain my vision in my less diseased eye, my right eye. And I said, well, since my childhood, no one was able to bring a drug to save sight for patients with uveitis and autoimmune disease, I probably have enough knowledge, expertise, network to try and do that. And this is what I did. And this is what inspired me to get into the other side of the table and going back into execution and entrepreneurship.
Awesome. So just to simplify it, what is your targeted audience? Like who you are looking for, who will be going to get some treatment or maybe going to buy something?
So, we have many audiences. Up until now, uveitis, this specific type of autoimmune disease, is being treated by ophthalmologists specializing in uveitis. So although the eye is so tiny, different ophthalmologists are treating different part of the eye. So, when you are specializing, it can get very, very, very narrow. So in the past 70 years, since 1954, the only available treatment for an attack of the immune system on the eye, in what we call the flare-up of uveitis, only topical steroids are used. So we are currently in a journey to replace steroids for the most diseased eyes in patients that are being diagnosed relatively young, kids or young adults, that they have a very poor prognosis or that they have vision loss and blindness in their future. So our audience or target patient population, this is how we call this in pharmaceutical development and medical areas, are patients and kids and toddlers that one day, get up in the morning, they have severe pain in their eyes, they have blurred vision, they have night blindness, they cannot really see at night, and they have decreased vision, of course. And they get into the ophthalmologist that send them to the hospital. And now their entire life is going to be changed. And they will get steroids. And steroids will cause a terrible side effects, like steroids do in many other indications. So 70 years, no one was able to bring something which is safer than steroids. And this is the mission I took on my shoulders. So we're also collecting luck.
Awesome. All right. Makes sense. So what is the most recent and biggest challenge that you are facing or you have faced?
Well, managing a pharmaceutical company from start, from an idea, from a scratch of a molecule into FDA approval and marketing, it's just a journey between challenges. You meet one challenge that you think that this is the most challenging and tough hurdle, and then you see another one just, more challenging. I think that it is across the board. Every entrepreneur can tell you that. It's just moving from one challenge to another one. We had challenges in safety, in developing a safe drug. We had challenges in regulation. This is the main challenge in drug development is, we have one agency, the most important one, sitting in Washington, in the very, very professional and very talented and knowledgeable community of ophthalmologists that are managing the ophthalmology division at the FDA. And the challenge is to get FDA approval. And our way to get into the right tunnel and get into agreement with the agency. And we reached just recently a very good agreement with the agency about the next steps that will allow us to get approval is through science and data. And numerous discussions, formal discussions with the agency, a lot of meetings with the agency, open questions. We are asking everything. We are not shy. We are a little bit Israelis sometimes, which means that we have a little bit of a chutzpah, which is okay, as long as we're asking the question, the very serious questions or very out of the scope or out of the box questions very politely. And we are getting answers. Sometimes the answer is 2 letters, no. Recently, we got a series of 3 letters, yes, 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 and yes. And with this achievement, now we need to conduct just another trial in the US in order for the drug to be approved. But the real main challenge is to speak with patients and parents, young kids that are calling me, and I'm devoting my Sundays to speak with patients. And it's heartbreaking. And it's, definitely reduced my sleeping ability. To speak with parents that currently have no hope, and to know that our drug is the only hope, the only development that can reach market approval, which is safe. It's a lot of, emotional challenge on my shoulders because I've been there. I've been through this journey personally, and I really don't want any other kid to go through this journey.
All right. So don't you think that some educational awareness is required in this regard? Maybe educational campaigns, sort of like that?
So we need a lot of education because it starts when I spoke with venture capitalists. They told me to my eyes, it was pre-COVID, so less Zoom, more personal meetings. Uveitis is not interesting. And what are you talking about? 22% of patients will be blind.
Yeah.
67% of patients will reach visual impairment. Uveitis is super interesting. So during this time, we created a great community of experts around us, all our professor in ophthalmology, specifically in uveitis, to release education in our field is publications, is scientific publications and articles, to talk in conferences and to speak with everyone we can, just to make sure that all understand that uveitis is the most important indication in ophthalmology because the patients are young and the disease currently is devastating and the current treatment are not safe enough. So lots of education.
Yeah, indeed. So, is there any other in the market who is focusing on these problems?
So apparently, most of the others that are trying to solve uveitis was always the side indication. You first develop a drug for rheumatoid arthritis or lupus nephritis. Those are autoimmune diseases that are affecting the kidney or the joints. And if it works, they think, okay, it can work also in uveitis. So we will always the step kid in autoimmunity. And many of the treatments are just taking an approved drug and switching it into ophthalmology. We are the first company and currently the only company that is targeting uveitis and specifically the most severe cases, the ones that are already complicated with glaucoma.
All right. So when you are alone in the market at that time, I think educational awareness is another challenge. Like where you
Huge
are
challenge.
alone in the market.
Huge challenge. We were the first one to
Yeah.
pursue uveitic glaucoma. And I can tell you that this is a great challenge. Also, because this is such a narrow, there are not many, there are 130,000 patients with uveitic glaucoma in the US. It's not a lot. There are just a few hundreds of experts. And
Yeah.
if there is only a few hundreds of experts, it takes time to generate data to support in medical publications. It just takes time to publish data and collect data and analyze data. So we don't have enough experts to generate enough data. But now we are definitely, as a company, open to help and finance those publications as well. So people and experts will dive into the data, conduct scientific reviews and work, and publish more knowledge about uveitic glaucoma.
All right. So, in terms of your goals, how you define your short-term goals, like
I have a
3 to 6 months?
very simple goal. I have a mission. It's not a goal. I have a life mission, and this is to bring a safer drug for patients suffering from uveitic glaucoma and uveitis and save their sight to reduce as much as possible the progression into blindness for those patients. And, in our trials, we had a kid, 12-year-old boy, that already lost one eye and struggling with the other one. Someone in the US. So it's, I think, a worthy mission to put my 24/7. No, I'm sleeping a little. I must say, I'm a good sleeper when I'm not after calls with parents. But you got the message, and I will do anything needed in order to bring this to market.
All right. So, how technology is helping you, and what elements of the technology you are using?
Pardon? What elements of the technology?
Yeah, what elements of the technology you are using to empower your pharma tracers?
We are using everything we can. I have a great, talented team. No, it's chemistry. It's a lot of technology. It's a heavy technology. We need to manufacture the drug. We need to formulate the formulation. It's eye drops, but we also have technology for other indication with the same drug. Everything we do is technology. So it's the cutting edge technology to bring a new chemical entity, a new molecule into approval as drug. This is one of the most challenging mission one can have, and we are not a big pharma company. We are quite a small startup company.
I believe on the things that you are working on are more towards the latest technologies. So yes, obviously, there must be a big role of technology in this regard, and I can understand. Obviously, your machinery is also part of the technology. Internet is also part of the technology, and all these things will have to make a combo for sure. So,
Absolutely.
okay, yeah. So, what do you think? Where this pharma company will be after 2 years?
So I will speak about where we are going to be after approval, which is
Right.
when it happened,
Yeah.
but it is, I think now there is a high probability that the drug will be approved based on our agreement with the FDA. So we plan to get into sales and marketing, to establish the commercialization team in the US and then afterwards in Europe, in order to bring this to patients, and no patient will be left behind. So this is, again, a personal mission. We will build a commercialization structure, and in order to fund that, we plan to be a public company, so to go to New York Stock Exchange or NASDAQ, one of those, in order to raise the enough funding to support the commercialization effort, which in our case is less than in other medical indications because the small number of experts, luckily, and also to support the further technological development of the other products that we have in the pipeline based on the same molecule that we are having.
All right. So I believe the cause is bigger than your mission. So this is something main thing in this regard. Yeah, makes sense. So what would be your biggest advice for our viewers who are working on some cause or maybe who are struggling with a lot of challenges?
So it's all about the people. I am privileged to work with a great team from the beginning. And actually, my chief operational officer, her name is Zohar Milman. I call her my right hand and left eye, because she is so instrumental in everything we are doing, together with our chief chemist and chief clinical affairs. So the investigators, the consultants, the people that are manufacturing the product. Surround yourself with the most professional people around. And I have identified 3 characters. There are the problem finders, the ones that will tell you about the problems. Use them as consultants. List the problems. Thank you. You have the problem solvers, the one that the minute they hear or think about a problem will start to dig into solutions, to connect their network, to find new members to their network in order to find solutions. Those you close, you put very close to you, and you don't let them go. You will compensate them however you need, but those are the ones that you really want near you. But don't forget always to have someone which is a risk finder, because the ones that will see the risks in the future. So if we will make this decision now, it will affect our technology, our competition, our patent life, etc. in 1 year, in 10 years. Those are the ones that then you can help you to find the solutions that will last for longer period of time. So 3 characters: problem finders, great people. Don't recruit to your team, use as consultants. Problem solver, don't let them go. Just make sure that they are near you all the time. And risk finders, listen to them and direct the risk into the problem solvers.
Great. That's a beautiful advice for sure. So let us know how we can reach you, like how our viewers can reach you, if you can share your website and if you have some social media handles as well.
So absolutely, everyone can reach us at info@tarsierpharma.com. The name is on the logo here. And or IR for investors, tarsierpharma.com as well.
Awesome. That was a nice conversation, Daphne, obviously. And I wish you best in your cause. So thank you for appearing today.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, and have a lovely one.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.